And you
So a lot closer to DC.
Really? So it's not gonna be a half hour then?
Yeah.
No, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was concerned about that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so I get there at 4 o'clock and then I gotta leave at 8 o'clock Wednesday morning to get on the flight. I'm here at 2.
That's good.
Yeah. So I don't get a little bit of rush hour traffic. At least I'll be home by.
You'll be home.
Yeah, by Judge Judy time.
Yeah.
Saturday night. I'll be in Washington Saturday for. Yeah, it's easy to park.
Success. We good. We good.
You
All
got
good.
in?
All good. And now I know how to do it.
You can add that to your resume.
Yeah, another skill to add to my resume.
You use the Slim Jim, right?
Yeah, I use one of them pump things to pump the window open.
Oh, you use the wedge?
I use a wedge and a pump. He has a little window pump.
Yeah, and then you put the.
Yeah, I need me that kit. I need to order that kit. David, I don't know why I need it, but I need it. I like it. I just want it.
That's the case of how I encourage a order.
I have no idea what I'm gonna do with it. I just want it. It was hella cool.
Recording in progress.
You ready? All right. Good evening. Buenas noches. Welcome. I'm calling to order the meeting of 18th of February, the West County Wastewater Board meeting. It is 18:32, that is 32 minutes after the hour of 6. Madam Clerk, will you please take the roll?
Director King Meredith,
Present.
Director Antila,
Here.
Wiener,
Present.
Vice President Alvarado,
Here.
President Suddeth.
I am here.
Madam President, we have a quorum with all 5 members present.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. With that, we ask all of you who are willing and able to please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, or if it is your pleasure, please observe a moment of silence, seated or standing. Director Intila, will you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, sir?
Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much, everyone. With that, I would like to let you know that Vice President Alvarado will serve as our parliamentarian for tonight's meeting. As a reminder, the board's rules of decorum are in effect. We ask everyone to wait to be recognized before speaking and keep remarks focused on the item under consideration. If needed, I will take appropriate steps to maintain an orderly meeting. Individuals disrupting the meeting may be removed at the president's, that would be me, discretion. Vice President Alvarado, sir, are you ready and willing to serve as the parliamentarian tonight?
I am.
Thank you, sir. Now is the time for public comments on items not on the agenda. Members of the public may comment during this time up to 3 minutes per speaker. Directors may briefly respond or ask clarifying questions, but may not engage in discussion regarding public comment made during this time. Madam Clerk, have we received any written comments or requests to speak for tonight's meeting?
We have not. If anyone wishes to speak on non-agenda items, please approach the podium or raise your hand in Zoom. Seeing none, we have no public comments.
Thank you so much. At this time, I will ask General Manager Andrew Clell to please lead us through the rest of the agenda. Sir?
Thank you, Madam President. The consent calendar consists of items 1 through 3 on the agenda. Madam Clerk, have we received any written comments or requests to speak on this item?
We have not. If anyone wishes to comment on consent calendars, items 1 through 3, please approach the podium or raise your hand in Zoom. No public comments.
We recommend the board approve consent calendar items 1 through 3.
Thank you so much. With that, Board, is there any further discussion? If not, I will entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Thank you. May I have a second, please?
I'll second it, Madam Chair.
Item's been moved by Director Weiner and seconded by Director King Meredith. Madam, will you please state the roll?
Sure. On the motion by Director Weiner and seconded by Director King Meredith to approve consent calendar items 1 through 3, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. The motion passes 5-0.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is regular calendar item number 4, to adopt a proclamation honoring the life and legacy of Betty Reed Soskin.
One moment. Thank you. While the clerk is getting that to me, each one of you has in front of you a copy of the Riveter from the Rosie the Riveter Trust. And on the front is a tribute to Miss Betty Reed Soskin, who was our oldest National Park Service ranger, who worked to help shape the Rosie the Riveter World War II Homefront National Historical Park landmark here in Richmond. During these months, now, Miss Soskin, though she passed away in December, her family made it a point to schedule her memorial, which is upcoming on March 1st, to bridge between Black History Month and at the beginning of Women's History Month, because both of those were very important to her. With that, we didn't want to just pass a proclamation. We wanted to make sure that it is read into the record and be able to present this at that March 1st memorial. Proclamation from West County Wastewater District Board of Directors honoring the life and legacy of Betty Reed Soskin. Whereas Betty Reed Soskin lived a remarkable life defined by public service, community leadership, and an unwavering commitment to telling the American story fully and truthfully. And whereas she came of age in the East Bay after her family settled in Oakland, California, following the 1927 flood that devastated her native New Orleans, and she carried forward a deep sense of place, family, and resilience throughout her life. And whereas during World War II, she worked in a segregated union hall, an experience that strengthened her lifelong belief that democracy is only fully realized when it reaches everyone, And whereas in 1945, she and her husband, Mel Reed, opened Reed's Records, recognized as one of the earliest Black-owned music stores, and it served its community for decades. And whereas she brought her insight and integrity to civic and legislative work, including service to local government and to members of the California State Legislature, always centering community needs and practical outcomes. And whereas in the early 2000s, she contributed to the development of the Rosie the Riveter World War II Home Front National Historical Park by working with partners in Richmond and the National Park Service. And she advocated for a fuller public understanding of the World War II home front, including the experiences of African Americans. And where she became a permanent ranger in the U.S. Park Service in 2007, and through her programs and personal storytelling, she welcomed visitors with warmth and honesty, connecting everyday lives to history and inspiring people of all ages to learn, listen, and reflect. And whereas her work earned wide recognition, and in 2015, she participated in the National Tree Lighting Ceremony at President's Park, where she proudly introduced President Barack Obama during a PBS broadcast, and where she received numerous honors over the years from organizations including the President of the United States, the United States Congress, the National Women's History Project, the National World War II Museum, the Rosie the Riveter World War II Homefront National Historical Park, the Sierra Club, and numerous others. And she shared her story more broadly through her 2018 memoir, Sign My Name to Freedom, and where she passed away peacefully at her home on the 21st of December, 2025, at the tender young age of 104, leaving a legacy of courage, clarity, and service that endures in the people and institutions she influenced, including the reader of this proclamation. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Board of Directors of West County Wastewater District hereby honors the life and legacy of Miss Betty Reed Susskind, extends heartfelt condolences to her family, friends, and all who learned from her, and recognizes her lasting example of principled public service and historical stewardship. Be it further proclaimed that West County Wastewater District encourages our community to commemorate her memory by seeking out overlooked histories, valuing lived experience, and renewing our commitment to dignity, fairness, and truthful public record. We issued this proclamation this day, this 18th day of February, 2026, and to the family at the March 1st memorial service should the board so adopt such proclamation. Madam Clerk, have we received any written comments or requests to speak on this item?
We have not. If anyone wishes to comment on item 6, 5, 4, 4.
Keep going.
Proclamation. Please raise your hand in Zoom or approach the podium. Seeing none, we have no public comments.
Are there any questions or comments from fellow directors? Go ahead.
Madam Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
to the board and to our staff. I just would like to state that I had an opportunity to actually work with Miss Betty Reed Susskind back in 19 96, when she was with Senator Dion Arner's office. She was very much involved in North Richmond and with the collaborations of looking at health and human services at that time. So I just want, to mention that she's been at it time, but it's not that she was just in one place, she was just about everywhere. And as I say, I met her back in 1996 in North Richmond with with the Employment and Human Services. And she was a jewel then, and as upon her passing, sitting with her, she was still attending a lot of meetings until her illness. So with that,
Thank you.
I'd like to say thank you.
Thank you. My final comment is, I did have the honor of being, I think I was more excited for her than myself when we were sharing stages with her and D.A. Becton and several others for the Congressional Women of the Year. And she was just being in her, if you've ever had the pleasure of being around her and just soaking up knowledge from her, this is living history, and you always learn something from women like this. And there's an inspiration about the way she carried herself. The word dignity, my grandmother used to say all the time, always be dignified. And sometimes it's hard to find it personified. And this is what I see, just dignity personified. And I strive to be like this. And I got to see her 100th birthday when she went, and her only wish was she wanted to spend it with the children. Her 104th birthday, she wanted to spend it with the children at the middle school that's named after her. So we went there, and then we had a Zoom party for her, but she wanted to be with the children. And that tells you so much about her. And she said all of the awards she got, the thing that she really loved the most was that tree lighting ceremony with President Obama, because she didn't think it would ever happen. And the other one was being able to vote in the last election. Now, I'm not gonna tell you how she voted, because then I'm more business, but she just wanted to vote. She was very keen on civic participation, and she just wanted everyone to vote. So it was just big. Okay, if there are no more comments, I would ask for a motion, but I'm going to move the item myself, a little executive privilege here. But I will ask for a director to second the motion.
Madam Chair, Madam President, I would second it.
Okay. So the item's been moved by myself and seconded by Director King Meredith to approve regular calendar item 4. If there's no further discussion, Madam Clerk, will you please take the vote?
On the motion by President Sudeth and seconded by Director King Meredith to approve regular calendar item 4, those in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Those opposed say no. The motion passes 5-0.
Thank you so much, directors, and I will ask if we can please have this proclamation framed so we can present it properly at the memorial service. Thank you. Thank you. So back to you, sir.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is regular calendar item 5, to establish the Legislative and External Affairs Committee as a new standing committee. Appoint 2 board members to serve on the committee and designate 1 board member as an alternate.
Thank you.
And Deputy General Manager Justin Lovell will provide an introduction and an overview.
All right, good evening, Justin Lovell, Deputy General Manager. So in the discussions with our board president, there is a desire to establish another committee focused on, or legislative and External Affairs. And so we would like to present this, kind of the concept to the board, to establish a standing committee, just as in the board policies and procedures. There is the process for establishing a standing committee is through board adoption, and then the board would appoint 2 board members to be on the committee with 1 alternate. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions about this proposed committee.
Did you want me to add anything? Did you want me to add anything?
Oh, yeah, please, President Sudduth, I know this is definitely your idea, so we want to give you an opportunity to explain what your thoughts are.
Thank you. So, directors, often we are looking at legislation, or we're asked about legislation, and again, much of the work that we do, in our IOE and a committee, a lot of times that work is done in committee, and it should be done in committee and then brought to the board at the board level. The idea with legislative and external affairs is twofold. The legislative is to look at things that are brought to the board, or that the board is to consider, whether it's from one of our partner agencies or the agencies we deal with a lot, CASA, ACWA, or any of those, CSDA, and take a look at those and discuss them in committee before coming to the board. Many times they come in the GM general manager can handle most of them. But there are times when the WIPES legislation that we dealt with years ago of something that can be handled in a committee level before it comes to the board. The external affairs part of it is something that's, and again, let me say this, the Legislative and External Affairs Committee is also going to be something that will meet and determine all of the parameters of that committee, because it might change a little bit. Because the external affairs is also something that I think all of us could be doing more of, not just leaving it up to the district. These are things that each of us have done, whether it's speaking, coordinating with the school districts, or coordinating with some of the local city councils to speak about, or the Chamber of Commerce, about what it is that not just the district does, but what we're doing on behalf of the district. I think that's enough for now.
Yeah, thank you. Just to want to add that this falls in line very nicely with the strategic goal that the board has adopted related to advocacy and community outreach within West County Wastewater.
Yes. It also falls in line with everything we say we're going to do outside of strategic plan. Any questions from the board before I do that? Madam Clerk, have we received any written comments or requests to speak on this item?
We have not. If anyone wishes to comment on item 5, standing committee establishment, please approach the podium or raise your hand in Zoom. Seeing none, we have no public comment.
Okay, thank you. Directors, are there any questions or comments from any of you? Yes, sir. We'll start with Director Wiener. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Madam President. I approve of the establishment of this standing committee. I believe the district needs to be proactive as...
Our microphone on? It's low.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
I believe that the district needs to be proactive, as the chair has stated, particularly with state lawmakers that have such power over the regulation of our industry and the operation of our district. I would like to note that standing committees have much influence over our board's activities and district direction. And my constituents and I have no representation on any committee, which is contrary to the spirit and purpose of having 5 members on the board. This is particularly jarring given the attacks on democracy coming from our federal government.
Thank you, Dr. Weiner. Go ahead,
Yes,
Dr. King Meredith.
thank you, Madam President. Yes, my comment is, I say it's needed, especially when we're engaging the communities in our district to be able to report back on certain legislation and have the clarity from our committee and being able to disseminate that information. I think it's well worth to have this in place. So I am definitely in agreement with it.
Thank you. Dr. Rentillo?
My only question is, what took so long? I've always advocated that we should be out there being able to explain what's going on with our district, and, we should all be on the same page, so I greatly appreciate this item.
And Vice President Navarro?
I think it's just an extension of what we've already been doing.
Yes.
And I think we're just making it official.
Yes.
So I think the right committee at the right time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And you'll be meeting every week.
And,
No.
and so, okay, so in the staff report, I did appoint 2 members. The following, I'm recommending appointing myself as chair, Vice President Alvarado is member to the committee, with Director King Meredith as an alternate. One of the reasons why I did speak to Vice President Alvarado about this is that this particular, my thinking behind this particular committee is, this is something that if you follow state legislature, if you follow federal legislature, it's usually on a 2-year cycle. It's not just a 1-year cycle. So it should be something that goes past a 1-year term, regardless of who's the chair. So it should follow that. So there has to be some continuity in the thinking and in the committee itself. So this is my thought pattern behind the appointment. And with that, if there are no further comments or questions, I will ask for a motion and a second to approve regular calendar item 5.
Move the item.
Thank you, sir.
And I'll second it.
Thank you,
Madam
madam.
President.
With that, Madam Clerk?
The motion by Director Alvarado, Vice President Alvarado, and seconded by Director King Meredith to approve regular calendar item 5. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. The motion passes 5-0.
Thank you so much. With that, I will move this, then. Is it for you?
Okay. You're done?
Go ahead. I think it's you.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is regular calendar item 6, to authorize the general manager to negotiate and execute a contract with Polygone Systems for a pilot microplastics filtration system in an amount not to exceed $49,900 in a form approved by legal counsel.
Thank you.
And we will be getting a presentation from Director of Water Quality and Resource Recovery, Aaron Weiner. And I was going to give some introductory comments, but I think Aaron's got this, so go ahead, Aaron.
Thank you very much, General Manager Clow. Good evening, President Sideth, directors and staff. I know at least a couple of you have seen this 2 or 3 times, and hopefully this will make it official. So if we could go to, never mind. The next slide, we're going to just run through the agenda here. Thank you very much. And this is what we're going to talk about, a little bit of history, objectives, review of the original and new polypod system. Going to provide a little bit of context for financial information and then talk about outreach just a little bit, and then we'll answer any questions that you have. Thank you. So here we're going to just get into the history a little bit. We started talking with Polygone after meeting them at the World Water Tech Conference in late 2023. We discussed over the next year and a half to 2 years a potential project, and it morphed during that time. The technology, as it shows in the third bullet there, matured. Went from a manual operated system that was fairly heavily time intensive by staff to a fully automated system that you'll see a little bit later in the presentation. And we actually have brought this to the IOE committee, the board's IOE committee on 3 occasions in December of 24, March of 25, and most recently in December of last year. Thank you. So a little bit more history. The second and third meetings that we attended and presented to the IOE committee were really to answer some very good questions that came out of the earlier or the first meeting, and that was about finances, maintenance, and that type of thing, staff time and other elements of the project. And there's one other piece too, is that as we were talking about this, the condition was always that we weren't going to be ready to do it before our Clean and Green project is substantially done, and I think it talks about that a little bit later. So in December of 2025, the last meeting that we attended, IOE committee meeting, excuse me, that really highlighted the addition of Amazon and Imagine H2O as funding partners for the project, and that really changed the complexion of the whole project. And you'll see the financial aspects here in a minute. And as noted, with the partnership expansion and added funding, the pilot transitioned to a 5 to 10 year term. And in terms of objectives, project objectives, the microplastics are an emerging contaminant of concern. And as you can see, the 3 strategic goal elements that it aligns with for our organization are the environmental leadership and stewardship piece, integrated systems and innovative solutions, and engagement, partnerships, and advocacy. And as it states, we hope to evaluate this new microplastics removal technology. A couple more objectives. PFAS is tied to plastics, so we're hoping to establish a nexus between the microplastics and the presence of PFAS, PFOA compounds, and we're going to be looking at how we do that. It's not completely clear yet, but that's an element of what our study is going to be. And we'll assess the feasibility to analyze microplastics concentrating in external return flows, and that's specifically talking about East Bay Mud's reverse osmosis. Basically, that system at the Chevron refinery it takes our effluent. So whatever microplastics are in our effluent are removed by the membranes and put back into the system and come back to the plant. So hopefully we'll be able to see some results from that part of the study as well. And then finally, the project will include assessment of microplastic loading into the treatment facility. So there is the new unit. And as you can see, it's designed to intercept the microplastics. It's fully automated, shows the inlets for power and water. There's a flume frame that's actually mounted below in the channel. And they call them roots, artificial roots, which are the filtration piece, they actually lower into the water column. And we're able to actually remove them from the water column for, during high flows or other things, other conditions that we may encounter during the time. And that's just a picture of the effluent. Everybody's seen the effluent channel before. So you see the little blue tent on the left-hand picture. It'll be just a little bit upstream of that. And when we first started negotiating, was probably, or talking, I should say, these are the costs of the system. And this was in roughly mid-2024, later in 2024. We had $180,000 roughly to purchase and install a system. You can see the annual filter replacements. And the O&M at that point, costs were really unquantified. So we continued talking and negotiating with Polygon as their system morphed and evolved into the automated component you saw just a minute ago. And then, thank you. And the last bullet I've already talked about, so. And we're anticipating mid this year, maybe a little bit later, depending on Clean and Green, but we'll work all that out. And so the final project cost estimate, and that's in the most recent discussion and proposal we received from Polygon. You can see that West County Wastewater's contribution is just under $50,000 for install and commissioning. Imagine H2O is contributing $75,000 for the same. And then the last bullet shows you Amazon's commitment, which is up to 10 years at $25,000 a year. And that's for maintenance, filter replacements, sampling, monitoring, and that type of thing. And then the outreach piece, we've just been very, I don't know if I want to use the word adamant, but clear that we want to make sure that any outreach and press and other things that are associated with the project are run through our communications manager, Kate Gibbs, as everybody knows. And
Adamant and contractually obligated.
Yes.
I would be willing to say.
Okay, thank you. Thanks. And I think that is the last slide, and we're at this point looking for a recommendation from the board.
Thank you, Aaron. And Mikey mentioned the IOA committee a number of times. We're not currently regulated on microplastics, but this is a benefit that we could do. There's a cost to it for the agency, but it's significantly less than the original. It's 10 years. It's not our maintenance personnel. They brought in additional funding. So it has changed considerably from the early proposals and improved by questions and pushing from the IOE committee. So here we are. And we also, I think you mentioned it, but I'll repeat it. We won't allow installation until we're certain that it's not going to impede or interfere with our transition of the Clean and Green project from contractor to operations.
Thank you very much. Any questions?
Thank you. And actually, I'm going to turn this over to Vice President Alvarado, who's going to chair this discussion as the chair of the Infrastructure Operations Environment Committee. Sir?
Yeah, thank you, Madam President. Yes, this has gone to our committee quite a few times, as Aaron has already basically given us all the details to that. I have nothing really more to add. I don't know if you do, Director Rentila, but we're ready to. The committee's recommendation is the board approve this, so we are ready to make that recommendation, and just asking if there's any questions or comments from members of the board.
So you want to start?
Yeah, we'll start with Director Reno.
Yeah. Why Amazon? How did they fit into this puzzle?
I'm going to get back to you on that one because, we're not really involved in the discussions between Polygon and their partners. I mean, they came to us with this. I suspect it's because they have a local presence and they have a heavy presence in the Bay Area. And there are some benefits, to this kind of partnership and just showing what they can do, in terms of the, environmental work that we do and that association.
And Amazon and these other entities where it shows a dollar value, those are agencies providing, or companies providing grants to Polygon. It's not to us or money from us. And it's part of the pushback with, you need to coordinate with our communications manager. You can't go out and do independent communications around what you installed at our treatment plant. They went out and they found money and they found help, and okay, we work with you guys, no problem, but you don't send an independent message. Well, they can on their sales, whatever, but as far as if they're talking about our agency or trying to communicate locally about what's going on here, setting up tours or any number of things like that, that they're learning. It's new for them, working with public agency and some of the requirements. So they've been getting a bit of an education on that as well, as we have gotten from them on microplastic removal. So.
Well, I use them quite a bit, so a lot of my money is going to this project.
Yes, I would also add, Director Weiner, that, you know, that I understand that Polygon, you know, their company has a presence here in terms of investors and other things. So the Bay Area is kind of a satellite for them, as I understand, and there is interest in the environmental work, so.
Yeah, just an odd name to appear and give us money. I like that idea. And then I just want to say that this is part of our embracing the future by planning today. I mean, here we go. Just, we're the place to invest for new things, to clean water. It's really awesome, really awesome. I really appreciate all the work that everybody did to get this to happen. It's pretty slick. I like it.
All right, thank you. Director King Meredith?
Yes, okay, I'm on. Thank you, Vice President and Chair of the committee. I was really impressed with this because I would like to share that President Sutter and I had the opportunity to actually go to one of the plants that was actually doing the reverse osmosis, and it was very exciting. And to start this with our agency now, and to get into looking at the environment and to actually remove all these plastics, microplastics, it's interesting how far we can go with this and starting where we're at. Just to go into the future of my experience seeing and with President Sutter, they even had taken it even further by actually the removal of the microplastics and turned it into another filtration where you could actually have the replenishing of the water for drinking clean water at this point. So it's a future plan and the system. I really thank you all for doing this, because we need clean water, and to remove as many particles that are necessary to go into the body. This is a start, and this is a win for our environment, and I thank you for that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Director Rinke, anything further?
Thank you. So myself, I've worked on sewage treatment plants where they had reverse osmosis. They were going to use the recycled urine for drinking water in Livermore, but the residents said no way, so it was used for irrigation. And people don't know that that's the process they use on submarines and have used for 75, 80 years, and the water's cleaner than anything you can get out of your tap, but there's a stigma attached to it. When I first came to the IOE committee, I had reservations about them because the price was so steep, and I didn't see the benefit for removing the microplastics, since it's just going to Chevron and coming back to us. So at that time, the price was much steeper, and the technology was different. They were using like brushes on a car wash to pick up the plastics. So I'm glad to see that we've come a long way since then, and I'd like to move this item.
Madam President, it's all you.
Yeah, you know, this is right. This is like my children would say, this is my jam right here. This is what makes me smile is, you know, some people keep romance novels by their bedside. I keep PFAS and microplastic journals by my bedside. So this is like making me really happy. I have been waiting for us to take the leap into doing things like this. Anything with microplastics, anything with PFAS removal is going to be, is just in the fact that we are going to be taking this step on the West Coast to be to have this kind of pilot project is phenomenal. Is just fantastic. And I have a different question than the one, it's very similar to Director Winner in that, so what is the expectation of Amazon's and Imagine H2O's role? And I understand that they're providing the grants for this 325K, but what is their expectation and the role other than providing the grants? Do we know that, or can we find out? Is there anything else? I'm looking at our general counsel. Is there anything else in the contract or anything else where there will be? Are they going to use these results of the pilot project in some way to some of the data or anything? Are they going to use it in some way? Are we going to be advertised? Are they going to use it? Do they have a right to use our data in some way? That's what I'm really thinking about.
So the contract is not yet complete. It's still in sort of early stages and will be negotiated. My understanding is that there is nothing that these other third-party funders to Polygon are entitled to or will obtain through this contract. If anything like that comes up, we can certainly return that to the board if it's a point of concern and interest. But at this point, my understanding is that there is no expectation. They will not be beneficiaries of this contract. They will not have rights under this contract. That is our intent as we're preparing it.
Okay, I think it's less a concern, more of an interest. I'm more interested in knowing, do they have an expectation that they'll be using our data or any information gathered from the pilot study for whatever reason? They're funding it for some reason. They're not just giving us 325. I see you. So they're not just giving us 325, and I'm not disturbed by Amazon pumping up West County Wastewater's name, regardless of how the pilot turns out, right? It actually, I'm a scientist, so even if it doesn't yield the results that you initially see, when you're doing a pilot project, results of any kind is going to give us something, right? It's going to give us some kind of insight, especially when no one else is doing it. So I don't think I'm disturbed by them, even if they use the data. I just want to know, is that their expectation?
Right. So certainly there is an intent for Polygon in terms of the data that they're going to gather and the monitoring and the reporting, that West County and Polygon are both going to have access to that information. To the extent we learn as we're sort of going into the negotiation process that there's an expectation from the third-party funders that they have access to any of that data, I think we can certainly report that back. That's not my understanding at this point.
Okay.
But we can return if that understanding changes and let you all know.
That would be fantastic. That was my major question. Did you know something else?
Yeah, I had a question. On that same realm, would these third parties or Polygon be able to use our name and likeness in the future for their sales or promotions?
So
I believe we'll have control of all that through the contract.
Exactly, that is the idea. So our contract is not with any third-party funder. The contract is just with Polygon. So we will say to Polygon that in order to make any statements about the project, to use West County's logo, anything like that, that all needs to be approved by West County. And so if another third party outside of any kind of contractual arrangement wanted to use West County's logo, wanted to do anything like that, we would have the same rights and control over our logo and our how our agency is presented as we would in any other context, even outside of this.
Okay, and go ahead.
If I could add to that, these are excellent questions, and as it says, allowing the general manager to negotiate, enter into a contract in a form approved by council. And that these are, we've agreed to the most of the terms of it and substantially, and that we don't think there'll be any substantial change, but we do have a number of outstanding questions we want to work through with them, and it's not entirely clear what their expectations are of some things, but that's why I added emphasis with the adamant that no, you need to coordinate with our communications manager. And they're going to want to publicize this. It's be the first on the West Coast. They have one on the East Coast. So obviously, they're making an investment, and they want to have a return on that someday. That's all fine with us, as long as, we have the potential, when you're not interfering with our operations, you're doing all of the maintenance. Probably the highest level of involvement will be Aaron and the communications manager, Kate. But there may be opportunities for us there as well that we'll see as we go. But we will be looking at the contract closely. We did in the discussions with them, I don't know what it is, 49,999, just under the general manager's authority. That was a discussion with them to say I wouldn't even consider anything unless it was below that. But with the other note to them but I still wasn't going to approve it. I was going to bring it to the board. So this is one where I had the authority to enter into it based on the delegation, but we weren't going to do that. And if we're not comfortable with the negotiations we have with them, and it seems like they're not working with us in line with the types of concerns you mentioned here, as General Counsel said, we'll come back to the board and talk to you about that. But I feel pretty confident we'll be able to work it through with them. They're learning as well. I don't think any of us can say what the third-party intentions necessarily are, but as long as we protect it with that entity with whom we have the contract, that's what our main concern is.
Wonderful. I think it's great. My last comment, Chair, is as Director King Meredith mentioned, we did get to see a reverse osmosis process. So I'm willing to agree to approve this, but my scientific brain says that I need to see this reverse osmosis. I need to have an invitation to see this reverse osmosis process, please, sir. Please, sir. This is all I want. I just want to be able to see it when it happens. I just want a standing invitation to see it when it happens, sirs. There's my selfishness.
Okay.
That's it. That's
further?
todo. It's
Okay.
todo.
All right. Madam Clerk, before we call for a vote on this, have we received any written comments or requests to speak on this item?
We have not. If anyone wishes to speak on this item, Polygon Microplastics Removal Project, please approach the podium or raise your hand in Zoom. Seeing none, we have no public comments. And Vice President Alvarado, I think we already have a first. I need to make that point also. There needs to be a modification to the NTE stated on the agenda. It's stated as 49,900. That number should be 49. Director Rentila,
But I think he needs to do it again because,
because now it's changing.
yeah.
Got it.
990.
49, yes, that's
Right,
right.
move it again.
I'd like to move the item
Okay.
with the amendment.
Okay, and I'll second.
Good, because you guys are the chairs, so you should. With that, the item's being properly moved by Director Rentila and seconded by Vice President Alvarado. Madam Clerk, will you please take the vote?
Absolutely. On the motion by Director Rentila and seconded by Vice President Alvarado to approve regular calendar item 6 as amended for the not-to-exceed amount. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. That motion, I'm sorry. It looks like a hand did go up, and I believe that this is, I think it's Amazon.
Aaron? We have a comment, and if you could, you want to ask them first, or have?
Hi.
Hello,
Anyone
Gideon.
hear me? Hi. This is Eden from Polygon, not from Amazon.
Oh,
Yeah, I
excuse me.
just want to provide some feedback for some of the questions that was just raised, and then I feel like these are very, very fair questions, so we will definitely work with Amazon to have those clearance prepared for the board. And also very exciting for this project. And then we have very good working relationship with our other partner in terms of community outreach. And we're just excited to work with WCW as well.
Okay, thank you.
Aaron, do you want to mention who I don't know if they understood who
Yes,
was.
I apologize. Yes, Gideon and Nathaniel are the partners from Polygon who we've been working on for the last 2 years.
They
And
came
they-
in person last meeting, correct?
Yes.
Right, they were
Yes.
here in our last meeting, exactly.
Yes. Okay,
Thank you,
Thank
Gideon.
you.
And I just,
Thank you, Erin.
thank you so much.
I just want to clarify that the motion passed 5-0.
5-0, okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Back to you, sir.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is regular calendar item 7, to accept the fiscal year 2025 annual comprehensive financial report for the year ending June 30th, 2025. And Deputy General Manager Justin Lovell will lead us off.
All right. Good evening again, President Sedith and members of the board, Justin Lovell, Deputy General Manager. Tonight, we're going to have a presentation by our auditor, David Alvey from Mays & Associates, to discuss our fiscal year 2025 annual comprehensive financial report that is required that we complete every year. And we'll just pass it over to Mr. Alvey so he can give a presentation and we can have questions afterwards.
Good evening, Madam President and members of the board. My name is David Alvey, and I'm a CPA with Mays & Associates, and we are the district's independent external auditor. And my role every year, or my firm's role every year, is to come in and audit the financial statements of the district, the financial statements that are prepared by management, and give an opinion of whether or not, in my firm's view, that those financial statements are accurate. So technically, the only piece of this report in front of you that my firm owns is page 1 through 3. And that is the audit opinion. And to get to that point, I want to just go over a really quick high level of the audit process. And to clarify, we already went over this with Madam President and Chair King Meredith on the Finance Committee last week. But the audit process is really a risk assessment-based audit approach. We look at the district from a risk assessment. Where do we think the risks are? And we have to develop an audit plan to mitigate those risks. And as information comes into the limelight, we have to modify that plan to make sure we still are dealing with those risks. So there's 2 phases. An interim phase, which we did back in May, and during that phase, we're looking at the checks and balances, disbursements, payroll, journal entries, making sure that not a single person can initiate, approve, and book something without a second set of eyes, because that could be ripe for fraud or error. And once we get an idea of the internal controls, the segregation of duties, the bones, then we turn off that part of our brain and we come back after the books are closed, and that was in October. Now we're looking at balances. We're looking at your cash, your capital asset additions, your revenue, your debt, your pension, your other post-employment benefits, risk assessment. We do a legal confirmation. And we try to get comfort over the actual numbers. And at the very end of the audit, we get what's called a manager representation letter signed by management saying that they've given us everything in full faith, and that becomes our audit opinion date. So I'm pleased to say that on page 1 through 3, it is a clean audit opinion, or unmodified. That's the highest level of assurance that a CPA firm can give an entity, so congratulations. You got a clean audit opinion.
Thank you.
A couple of financial highlights on the statement of net position on page 14. You ended the year June 30, 2025 with an ending net position of $1.8 million. That's a 1.7 decrease over prior year, having to do with some other things I'll go into a little bit. Your pension liability decreased by $109,000 to $19.4 million. Your other post-employment benefit asset increased by $1.4 million to $3 million. And I mentioned this in the meeting, but I audit about 35 entities each year, and you are one of 2 that have other post-employment benefit assets. So that's good news. On the statement of revenues and expenditures and change net position, your revenues were $37.3 million, and your expenses were $39.1, and that caused that $1.7 million decrease in your net position. Your operating revenues increased by $890,000 or 2.8%, and that tracks with your rate increases of 3% a year, I believe it is, for your sewer service charges. Your operating expenses increased by $340,000 or 1.1%. That has to do with just cost of labor, and non-operating decreased by $2.3 million or 46.9%. That has to do with just lower investment returns. The second document you have before you is also known as the management letter. And it's my firm's communication to this governing board of things that we found during the audit. And they can be categorized into 3 buckets. The first 3 bullet points there is a material weakness. I mean, something material can flow through that internal control process and cause a material financial misstatement on the financials you have in front of you. We have nothing, we didn't find anything that would cause that. The second is a significant deficiency, that something significant can flow through and not get caught and cause an issue on the financials. Nothing to report there. And the last is just catch all, anything that doesn't fit in the first 2 buckets. As part of our disbursement sampling, we look at not only checks, but also credit cards, and we found a couple credit card reimbursements that were missing some receipts. And so we just want to emphasize that you know, per your policy, you have to have certain receipts, and certain things are outside of the scope to be used the CAL card for or the credit card for. And so that was the one thing we have there. The second part of that is upcoming Government Accounting Standards Board pronouncements. So those are the rules that we have to follow for accounting. There's 3. 103 has to do with financial model. That's going to be effective for June 30, 2026. It's not going to really affect the financials that much. It's really going to be updating the MD&A to make it a little bit more robust and easier for the reader to read. 102 has to do with risk disclosure, certain risks, and then 105 has to do with subsequent events. So nothing materially going to change the look of the financial statements themselves or the footnotes. The second half is the required communication. I'm required by auditing standards to tell you that I had no disagreements with management. We have no reason to believe that management was withholding any information from us. We had no issues with management's accounting assumptions or estimates. As accountants, we have to have assumptions and estimates, be that, you know, fair market value of investment, a useful life of the capital assets. Technically, all the assumptions in your pension and other post-employment benefits have to be signed off by management as well, so no issues with those assumptions. We have no reason to believe that our scope was being limited, and we don't think that management had another CPA firm in the wings just in case we didn't issue an unmodified audit opinion. And with that, I'd just like to open up to any questions you might have and thank Justin, Maria, and Yukiko for all their help. You know, you only see this once a year, but really this is a testament of a whole year's worth of hard work and sound financial practices.
Thank you, Mr. Alvey. And Director King Meredith and I had the pleasure of having a nice, robust meeting last week with Mr. Alvey. And before I turn this over to Director King Meredith for comments, I did want you to advise the board and the public of the one thing we talked about, how long have Mays and Associates been the auditor?
This is our third.
The company. Go ahead.
Oh, this is our 3rd year.
3rd year?
Yeah, 3rd year.
And you have been performing the audit for how many years?
3 years.
3 years. And what is the legal requirement?
Government code requires that I cannot be the lead audit partner or the essentially the audit partner for more than 6 consecutive years. So we have within our firm a system of peer review and quality control, and we monitor that every year to make sure that, you know, I mean, you can stay with the same firm per the government code, and we have other partners in my firm that specialize in districts like me. So you can always just rotate me off and to have Vicki Rodriguez come in. She's the other partner that does special districts.
I just wanted that on the record. And then I'm going to ask General Counsel, can you explain why to the public, why that's in place? The reason why you don't have the auditor, the same auditor for an extensive amount of time, for 10 years, 15 years, what the whole purpose of that is for?
So I think it serves the purpose that Mr. Alvey was speaking to as to the independence of the auditor, that we do want to maintain that sort of arm's length position, and having a single individual looking at the same entity for too many years, I think creates some risk in that either there's a level of comfort and assumption and, relationship building, which is all well and good, but can implicate some of those issues of independence. And so in order to preserve that for our public agencies, the government code has imposed some guardrails.
Thank you.
Yeah, and just to expand on that, it's for familiarity, so that we get more familiar with you. But we have like I said, we have a really strong a program that we have to fill out before we do each audit. It's called the audit acceptance, and we really push the idea of professional skepticism. We come into the audit not taking what we know from the past into effect in our audit plan and our risk assessment. So we have a baseline. We don't come in thinking, oh, they've been clean in the past, 3-4 years. This should be a slam dunk. We don't do that.
I like that term, professional skepticism. Can I use that at work? I'm going to use that at work, professional skepticism. But I just wanted that on the record.
Yeah.
I think we talked about that during the committee meeting, so I just wanted to make sure that the public understood that. With that, Director King Meredith, did you have any questions or additional questions or comments before we turn it over to the rest of the directors?
No, I think we, we really thoroughly went through a lot of the questions and that was asked of our auditor at the meeting, and it was very thorough of asking the question that we asked, with the understanding for the clarification. So I'm really satisfied. And for staff, their hard work, to actually efficiently to work with this and put it together at this point, so I'm fine.
Thank you. And Madam Clerk, have we received any written comments or requests to speak on this item?
We have not. If anyone has any public comments on this item, please, and that's the year-end financial report, please approach the podium or raise your hand in Zoom. Seeing none, we have no public comments.
Thank you so much. Are there any questions or comments from members of the board? Go ahead, Director Weiner.
Yeah, excuse me. I'm not sure if you're the person that will answer this. Before I even begin, the management report that comes with your audit is hard to get through, but extremely important, full of facts and figures and graphs. And I wanted to commend our staff and our management for putting together that report. That is amazing. Yeah. But when you go through that report, there's so much detail, and I wanted to just tease out a very simple question, which is the total annual expenses appear to be about $40 million. And I was wondering if that includes interest and principal payments, or that is in addition to principal and interest payments. In other words, are our expenses through the year 44 million or just 40?
So that includes your interest on your bonds, but it does not include the reduction of the principal balance.
It doesn't include that?
No, that would be on the statement of net position. This is more of your revenue and expenses, kind of like even paying down like a mortgage. You write off or you claim the expense of the interest, but you're really getting the benefit of the reduction of the debt.
Yeah, I'm just thinking in terms of total cash moved in and total cash moved out.
Cash moved out, that's different.
That's net position.
That's, yeah, that you have that going out, that principal and interest going out for all your bond service payments. But here it's only the interest expense and then the reduction in the debt on the net position side.
Right. All right, so is it 44 million
Yes.
cash going out, or is it 40 million cash going out?
It's, the cash flow is a lot different than this. So it is the interest and the principal is going, that's actual money you're writing checks for.
Yeah.
But on this, because the movement in the net position, it's the same movement in the net position because you have the interest as the expense and then you have the reduction in the debt on the net, on the statement of net position. So from a cash, if we were working on a cash basis, yes, that it's more cash going out, but because it's equity for the district, it's not a.
Which is why I had to ask the question, because with all of those facts, trying to keep the balance and know what.
Right.
But I'm a simple-minded person, and I wanted a simple number.
It's not that simple.
Yeah.
And then in the report, and this has nothing to do with you, in the report, I had been trying to have the district goal being carbon net negative, and the language in our documents is transition towards zero emission. And I know I brought it up 3 times, and I know that the board approved that language. So it's a more bold aspiration, and I would like to see that back in our mission, vision, and all that. And that's it.
Thank you, Director Weiner. Director Ventila. Thank you, Director Weiner.
I was just having my question clarified by the general manager, and thank you for asking the same question I was going to ask. I appreciate
Simple
it.
minds think alike.
Very simple minds. And I just want to thank you for all the hard work. Yeah, it takes a special person to go through this, so I appreciate it. Thank you.
It's really the hard work of your staff.
Thank you, staff.
Yeah.
VP Alvarado.
And Finance Committee. Yes.
Go ahead, sir.
What's that? Just, I'm sure the committee vetted this very well.
Yes. Very
So
well.
I thank you for your work, and I thank you for the work of the committee.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. So with that, we have no further comments except to say, Director King Meredith, I will let you do the honors.
Okay. I would like to make a motion for accepting the financial year 2025 annual comprehensive financial report that was given to us
For the year ending.
for the year ending of June 30th, 2025.
Thank you very much. And as the Chair of Finance, I will second that motion. So, Madam Clerk, will you please take the vote?
Sure. On the motion by Director King Meredith and seconded by President Suddeth to approve regular calendar item 7, those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed say no. The motion passes 5-0.
Thank you so much. And thank you, Mr. Alvey. Appreciate you. We'll see you again, same time, same place next year.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is regular calendar item 8, to discuss the artificial intelligence policy and adopt amendments as deemed appropriate.
Thank you so much. I actually like the amendments as deemed appropriate. That's, do we have it in front? Is there a way we can put it up there on the screen? I think, does everyone have it in front of them? If everybody has it in front of them, then we don't have to worry about it.
No, wait.
I have it.
Do you have it in front of you, each of the directors? If you have it in front of you, then we don't have to do that. I think the major,
Okay.
the major part, so if you go to page 5, it was just part 3, section 3, part 8.
Yep.
And that's what we well, I pulled last time around to just have clarification that it is the intent of the use of, we talked about this in the Finance Committee, the F&A Committee, and then when we talked about it as a board following, there was a robust discussion about the intent of the policy and the intent of the use of the systems is that it will supplement and support the work of our staff, but there would never be an intentional use of this technology to supplant or displace the staff. So this change in the wording is meant to have that effect. Okay, we can take comments. No, I think I wanted it to say use of AI systems shall be used to supplement and support the work of staff and shall not intentionally displace staff. I know that it's a nuanced change, but I think the action is on the intentional displacement of staff. It's not on the intended to supplement. I think that's why I was asking for it on the board, but, so the use of AI systems shall be used to supplement and support the work of staff and shall not be used to intentionally displace staff. Because it's an affirmative statement is what I'm looking for. Does that make sense?
Makes sense to me.
I want the action on the, yeah, intentionally, shall not be used to intentionally. I think the intention is on the displacement of staff rather than the supplement and support.
You have a question.
Just one second, Director Wiener, I want to make sure that I'm checking in with General Counsel.
So I have the use of AI systems shall be used to supplement and support the work of staff and shall not be used to intentionally displace staff.
Yeah, or it could say the use of AI systems may be used to supplement and support the staff, not shall be, may be used to supplement and support the staff, because you don't have to use AI. I mean, but if you're gonna use it, you may use it to supplement and support the work of staff. I think my intent is it shall not be used to intentionally displace staff. Okay?
In that case, maybe AI systems may be used to supplement and support the work of staff and shall not be used to intentionally displace staff.
That's it. No, that's it. No, that's it. What she just said is it. Okay, Director Wiener?
You almost changed it to exactly what I was going to suggest.
Well, this because I'm rubbing off on you.
And did you now?
I haven't eaten
Where's
today,
the
so,
cameras?
you know.
Okay. Yeah, there's cameras everywhere.
Yeah.
But I'm not paranoid. But they are after me. I prefer, well, the one I came up with is use of AI systems shall supplement and support the work of staff and shall not displace staff. Yeah. And the word intention, I talked to our attorney, Nicole, and I proposed this and asked her, is it substantially different than the red that we have here? And for the purpose of a contract, it is different, but she mentioned that for the purpose of a policy, that there was very little difference in the two. And but I still prefer prefer shall not displace staff to the use of intention. And the reason that I didn't want intention is because AI is designed as a labor-saving device. And the intention of the creators of AI is to increase productivity without increasing the number of people who do work. And at the big AI firms, the layoffs have begun and are expected to continue apace. In the private sector, we have allowed the giant leaps in labor's productivity to benefit management shareholders with very little going to those who made the gains in productivity. As a public agency, this needs not be our direction. Our staff, from top to bottom, should benefit exclusively from the productivity AI generates. I think the stronger language would be more of a guarantee that that happens. That, you know, if it's a labor-saving device and they can get their work done in 7 hours, God bless. That's what I say. I don't think we need to judge, we need less staff because they're more productive. I would like to not get into that. That's for private companies to do. So I say shall and shan't are better words, and intention is already baked in to AI.
Thank you. Director King Meredith? Before you, can you read what I gave you again? Please, General Counsel.
Yes. AI systems may be used to supplement and support the work of staff and shall not be used to intentionally displace staff.
Okay, thank you. Okay, go ahead, Director King Meredith.
And that's, thank you, Madam President. And that's what we hashed out, and we went over it and over, you know, will not, should not, you know, the whole bit, and came up with shall not.
Yes.
So for what is written and what we have decided on in the committee and bringing it to the board in which everyone has their opinion, I felt comfortable, I felt comfortable with the shall not. At this point, I think it's clear enough to see that AI, the artificial intelligence, would not be overstepping the human concept of what needs to be done when it comes to our employees. So right now, I am fine with it the way it is stated.
Thank you so much.
Which, okay, so
Just 1 second, I'll come back to you.
I need the final language.
Director Rentila?
Shall not. That's what
No,
shall.
I'm fine with it. I'm just looking at the difference between will not and shall not.
Oh, what-
That's all. It's splitting hairs.
Forever legal conundrum.
Yes.
Shall I use shall? Shall I use will?
Right?
Law School 101. Vice President Alvarado.
To be or not to be? I'm good.
Thank you so much. And let me just say, so Director Wiener, and I can tell you why I specifically chose to include the word intentional. AI systems are going to be used, and they may unintentionally, not necessarily displace staff, but it may unintentionally have some effect on staff. And I say that because as we talked about these little mini computers we keep in our pocket are going to affect the way we do work. Some of the work that Mr. Weiner does with the water quality group and some of the work that we're doing with Clean and Green, it's going to change some of the duties that some of the staff does. Now, whether that means displacing staff or the staff is going to do things differently, the point of this is you're not going to take away a job intentionally and replace it with automation. But it may change the way work is done because you are using the technology. As we heard at our meeting, our last board meeting and several of our F&A meetings from the Deputy General Manager, and from the general manager. It might change the way work is done, but it's not taking away work. But it will change the way work is done. And that's going to happen, whether any of us like it or not. The future is known next week, is right here.
That's right.
And so we can keep fighting it, and we can keep fighting over it, or we can embrace it and try and make sure that our employees have as many opportunities as possible to learn and grow with it, which is what the intention, which is what we are intending to do, using the word intention, which I don't like using the same word to express why I want to use the word, but which is what our focus is on. We don't want to intentionally cause harm to our employees, but at all, especially not in a displacement manner. And I think that this makes it clear that we want, and I don't want to say shall, the AI system shall be used, because then we're telling people they are using it. It may be used. It's a choice. So saying that AI systems may be used to supplement and support, we are using that as a policy, but that is an operational decision, whether or not they will use AI systems, right? And that's an operational decision. I don't want our policy to say, you shall use it. Because when I hear AI systems shall be used, it's almost a directive rather than a choice. May be used is if the general manager, the deputy general manager, and the people that report to them see a need for it, great. Then employ use of it, as long as it doesn't intentionally displace an employee. That's the reason that I was asking for the change. I hope that is clearer. Okay? Do we have any additional comments? Did you still want to say something, sir?
So, does this sound, the only word that I would like to remove is intentional.
I'm not going to remove
Because,
intentional. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not going to approve of removing intentional. That's just me. If you can get these, a couple of these to agree with you, great. But I'm not going to approve of moving intentional. I explained to you why I have intentional in there, and I'm standing very firm with keeping intentional. This is just me. Because I think we need to give them as much flexibility as possible.
I don't see that.
Operationally, they need this.
All right, may I respond?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't see how the word intentional supports or doesn't support management using AI to supplement. I think your may supplement and support, I think that's fine. The work of staff, and shall not displace or intentionally shall not intentionally displace. I don't think intention has anything to do with it. I think just make it strong, shall not displace. I don't see why we need intention.
Okay.
Because it's hard to prove and it's hard to disprove.
Thank you. I think it's a very strong sentence, the way that it was just written.
All right, so could I move removal of the word and we vote on it?
You can.
All right. I move that we use the language as suggested by our president with one exception, and that is to remove the word intentional.
Is there a second? With no second, the motion fails. And can we get a motion to move the first, to move the item as a general counsel, could you read that again, please? The revision to section 3, item 8, workforce empowerment.
Yes, so this will be a new section, a new sentence added to replace the sentence that's in red font in section 3.8, workforce empowerment, and replacing the red font sentence with AI systems may be used to supplement and support the work of staff and shall not be used to intentionally displace staff.
Okay, thank you. Do you want to move it?
Yes, I'd like to. So move.
And is there a second? Director King Meredith moved it. Is there a second?
This is the original.
Seconded.
Yeah, the one that I just did.
did.
Yeah, okay.
Seconded.
You seconded, okay. The motion's been made by Director King Meredith and seconded by Director Rentila to adopt the amendment to the artificial intelligence policy as presented and just read by General Counsel. Madam Clerk, will you please take the vote?
On the motion by Director King Meredith and seconded by Director Rentila to adopt the amendments to the artificial policy as read by General Counsel, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. The motion passes 5-0.
Thank you so much.
Madam Chair,
Yes, sir.
point of order. I just wanted to reiterate that at any time in the future, if we see that some of this policy language is not working, we could always revisit it. Am I correct?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely. This is totally a board policy, and we can change it at any time. We will be monitoring. We will be monitoring in both at the board level and the committee level, and we will be getting reports. So this can come back to us at any time.
Thank you.
Thank you for bringing that up. General Manager, sir.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is other business, item 9, reports from staff, general manager, and general counsel, which includes receiving the quarterly investment report for the quarter ending December 2025 and the January 2026 check register report. Staff's available to answer any questions regarding the reports included in the packet, if the board has any.
Do we have any? First, Madam Clerk, have we received any written comments or requests to speak on this item?
Have not. If anyone wishes to comment on item 9, please approach the podium or raise your hand in Zoom. Seeing none, we have no public comments.
Wonderful. Directors, anyone have any questions or comments about item 9? Any of the reports or the check register? Did you have a question? Go ahead, Director Winter, go ahead. Sir, floor is yours.
Go for it.
Yes.
Thank you. Madam Chair?
Yes, sir. It's up to you.
What was the CRMA pooled liability adjustment on 1/9/26? What is that? It's in addition to our regular payment for our insurance. Yeah, January 9th, 26. There's 2 CSRMA lines. One is our regular insurance payment, and the other is a pooled liability adjustment. Yeah, it's the second report, the second check register. January 1.
Get on here, so I can just double check. I don't know if Maria's like, give you 1 second there, and I can just
Sorry,
find the line item. If Maria has an explanation, that'd be faster. Let you come over.
Okay.
It's the check.
The check, okay.
Good evening, directors. I'm Maria Bagley, the finance manager. So there's two items. One is due to a workers' comp pool, and one is due to the property liability. So it's 2 line items because it's billed separately under a different GL code, just so far we can quickly keep track of them.
So one is the CSRMA indemnification for?
Workers' comp and property.
Workers' comp.
Right.
And then the second one is for property liability?
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. I love a quick question. Was that it, Director Winter?
She said what that is. She said
Was that it? Was that it?
Oh, that's it?
Okay, thank you. Let me some quick questions. All right, with no other questions, next item, sir.
I just have a couple of quick ones. Just the discussion earlier on the artificial intelligence. A few times the board mentioned when management does or when management uses a number of our requests, and they're coming up and will be reviewed by the IT committee to be sure they're in line with our AI policy, but a number of requests and to review and potentially use AI technologies coming from staff, where they're identifying possible uses to improve efficiency of pump runs, et cetera. So it's not just management. It should be, we're open to it coming from all directions, but we'll review it and make sure it's consistent with AI policy and figure out whether we're going to use it or not. But like you said, it's being used already in many ways, and we have to accept that and figure out how to use it best. Two quick things. One, I'm sure a couple other board members or some board members will mention it, but we're going to the CASA DC Policy Forum in Washington. Deputy General Manager Justin Lovell and I will be attending, as well as 4 of our board members. And Mr. Savannah will be acting at the time that I'm away. And that's all I have, unless General Counsel has anything for this evening. No, she does not, so that's it.
Thank you.
Guess I'll be acting board.
Oh, you'll be acting board chair. I do have a question with relation to what you just said about the staff in the AI, and is there a concerted effort, and maybe this is for you, General Manager, or for Deputy General Manager, and whether you can answer it now or we can table it. Is there a concerted effort to ensure that staff is receiving adequate training and proper training on AI usage? I pretty much know the answer, but I'm saying this for the public record.
I wonder if anybody actually knows what proper usage is right now.
I
But
know, I
yes,
know,
awareness,
I
I'll call it
know.
awareness training, but I'm not
Awareness
quite
training,
sure
proper
what proper
usage
usage
training.
Good evening. This is something that we are working on. Just as an example, with our Administrative Services Department meeting, we started discussing our AI usage, what apps are available, how they're embedded. So it's an ongoing process, because I would say there's probably some are very nervous about it, are unsure. Part of it's just an upskilling and training to say this is what's available, and we're exploring the options of how we can use it within our day-to-day work. So it's an ongoing discussion that we are going to continue with all levels of staff, and providing them training and resources, and also guidance and guidelines, because that is something else that we're working on, of the proper usage and how do we attribute AI to the work, and then how do we keep in spirit of the policy, because there's certain parameters that we're also very aware of about privacy and secure usage, and how that data gets shared or not. So those are things we're definitely thinking about and considering and working.
And I did want to bring up that this ties to which aspect of the board strategic plan?
Well, we have our innovative systems goal.
That one.
That is tied to anything AI. We actually have a specific objective about an artificial intelligence policy.
No, but it is the innovative, that's the one I wanted to just put on the record. It was the board that said we wanted to be really innovative and strategically innovative, right? And that's how the Finance Committee said, okay, then we need an AI policy. And we looked to you all, including our General Counsel, to make sure that that was part of this. But as we often say in these spaces, we always want to tie it back to our strategic plan, so that it doesn't look like we're just making up things on the fly, but it is part of what the board approved, right, and brought before the staff, and this is one of them. So, thank you. Sometimes I'm just saying things so we can get on the record.
That's good.
As some of you probably know by now. All right, sir, next.
Thank you. The final item on the agenda is item 10, Director's Comments, Meeting Reports. Madam Clerk, have we received any written comments or requests to speak on this item?
We have not. If anybody wishes to comment on item 10, please approach the podium or raise your hand in Zoom. Seeing none, we have no public comment.
Thank you so much. Fellow directors, your favorite part to end the night, because if you are seeking reimbursement or compensation from WCW or other matters that are within the subject matter jurisdiction of this agency, you will now give a report on any meetings you have attended, events you have attended, representing the district. This is also the time for directors to propose future agenda items. Make sure you be succinct. We love everything that you're doing in life, but please make sure it's related to the business of the district. We can chat later about the other stuff, but right now, clock is ticking, and we'd like to hear what you are doing on behalf of the district or matters related to the district. And with that, we will start this time with Director Rentila. What you got for us? Showtime.
So February 9th, last Monday, the RNCC had its Black History Month celebration. And I want to thank all the contributors, including West County Wastewater and President Cheryl Sudeth for her contribution. It was a great celebration. The honorees were just over the moon, and then February 10th, we had our IOE committee. And then on February 24th, we had this Richmond City Council meeting. They talked about Project Room Key, which is to rebuild a hotel for the homeless, the unhoused, at a very high expense. They spoke about, there was some confusion over Kids First initiative, and the Richmond Police Officers Association were calling for a fair contract and bring back some of the officers that had been put on administrative leave for some actions that were in the newspapers. And for the RNCC, our next meeting will be March 9th. We will have Tim Sobrani. He will be presenting jobs from the Contra Costa Building Trades. You guys are all welcome to show. It's at the Richmond City Council chambers, free to everybody. And then I look forward to our trip to Washington and hearing from the EPA and all the various speakers, some on AI, which is going to be very interesting. I look forward to hearing from Washington, D.C. So thank you. That's my report.
You missed one.
I did.
Mayor's conference.
Oh, the mayor's conference. Yes. Richmond, the city of Richmond had their mayor's conference. President Sudeth was able to speak about Black History Month and honor some of the folks in Richmond. And again, Betty Reed Susskind, she was not only a pioneer, but she was an icon, and that's putting it mildly. Our school superintendent for the state of California, Tony Thurman, who's also from Richmond, honored her when they named Juan Crespi Junior High and changed the name to Betty Reed Susskind Junior High. It was a great celebration. So, yes, mayor's conference was good. It's in the city of Richmond. Thank you.
Absolutely. Director Weiner, sir, you're up.
Okay. Before you go talk to the leaders in Washington, D.C., I'd like to quote Bob Dylan.
All right.
Don't follow leaders, watch your parking meters. Since our last meeting on February 4th, I attended the El Sobrante Municipal Advisory Committee, the West County Forum, and attended a Richmond City Council meeting. As far as an agenda item, maybe a progress report on the clean and green, what tests are being done and what's actually, being moved along, how it's being moved along. I would like kind of a periodic report. It looked good.
So you're asking for an update on clean and green?
Yeah, they're testing different parts of it and stuff like that, so, and maybe making adjustments or whatever. I know they bought some pumps and so that kind of stuff.
So on the testing part, is this something coming to IOE already? And then you guys can forward it to the full board? Because the financial part is coming to FNA already, and then because we've already talked about what needs to come to the full board from FNA. Is this something that's coming to IOE, and then you can send it to us, or?
Good question.
Yeah. Can you talk about that at your next IOE meeting, and then respond so that we can get this?
Your question is items that have gone to the IOE, what else is coming to the board from there now?
No, I'm saying.
Coming to IOE.
Because Director Weiner is specifically asking about an update on clean and green, the testing that are going on and things of that nature. But it's something that's usually delivered, these kind of updates are usually delivered at the committee level first.
Typically, that's
Yeah,
what we'll
so
do,
I-
is go there first and then bring it to
And
the
then
whole
bring it to
board.
here, so-
Or the board could ask just for an update on clean and green here without going there, if that's what you
Yeah,
want.
but if it's something that's already scheduled for there, I'd like to, that's what I'm asking.
I don't think we have another update for clean and green currently scheduled at the IOE, but we certainly can. I mean, things are changing constantly, so provide another.
Can we just do that, and do it there, ferret it out there, and then bring it to the board?
Sure.
Thank you. Okay? I'm gonna have them talk to the committee and then bring it to the board. Okay? I think that's good. I'd like to have those long discussions at the committee level, so we're not having 2 hours at the board meeting. Okay, thank you, Director Weiner. Anything else? Any other agenda item? No? Okay, thank you. Director King Meredith.
Yes, thank you, Madam President.
Yes, ma'am.
Real quick and brief. I got a chance to also attend the Black History program that was actually presented by the neighborhood councils, which was excellent turnout and well-deserved for the 4 nominees who received their awards, lifetime awards for their work in the communities and the neighborhood councils and their legacy work. Also, I had an opportunity to do Zoom for the San Pablo City Council. And the item 16, one of the ordinance was moved due to the mayor wanted it looked at before her leaving. And it was to consider an ordinance for the San Pablo chapter for the just cause and the evictions. And that has been going on for almost a whole year of that discussion. So they've really gotten down to looking at putting something together in order for the council to actually move on and to make sure that the tenants are really fairly being taken care of at this point. So for right now, it's still being worked on, but the motion did move forward last night, and that was, not last night, but the San Pablo City Council. Also, I got a chance to chime in for the Richmond City Council meeting. They had several things, but one of the main things with me actually being very involved with housing, one of my hats dealing with housing, one of the things that they mentioned about the 43 units that they're looking at for the grant to have it to move forward and to redo that for housing for the unhoused. The other things hasn't happened yet, but I will be reporting on those come beginning of March. Several things that are up, that will be coming up, and I will be reporting on those. And then our Finance Administrative Committee meeting that took place last week. It was a very robust discussion, and we got it as far as to the board for right now. So with that, if anything has slipped my mind, don't hold it to me, but right now I'm done.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And Vice President Alvarado.
Will be very brief. I attended the RNCC Neighborhood Council via Zoom, and Director Rendila already gave a good description of what happened there. I attended the IOE committee meeting on February 10th, where we received an update on the North Richmond levy project funding. And we talked about our committee charter, and there was supposed to be a safety committee update, but we're going to get that at a future date. And I am also looking forward to going to Washington, D.C. next week for the policy forum. Thank you.
Did you say your San Pablo council meeting?
San Pablo.
You forgot your San Pablo council meeting?
No, because I didn't attend.
Oh, okay.
On Zoom?
No, I didn't
Okay.
go to San Pablo
So I'm like,
last day.
I know you missed something. Okay. All right. And for me, I attended several Board of Supervisors meeting, the several Richmond City Council meetings, the El Cerrito City Council meeting, the Mayor's Conference, the RNCC Black History Month celebration. It was very well done. Thank you, sir. Director Ventila, good job. Sierra Club Water Committee meeting, the Civic Environmental Coalition meeting for Northern California. The several President's Day events celebrating most of our presidents. The, I couldn't even get through that. The CWEA banquet last Friday, which for the San Francisco Bay Area chapter. The Aqua Legislative Symposium last Wednesday in Sacramento. The El Sobrante MAC meeting, our 2 well meetings, including a meeting discussing well, will be at the Naleo. We'll have a panel speaking at Naleo this summer. And then the Clean Water Summit Partners Basin webinar, BACEN webinar last week. And a Lunar New Year celebration last night. I will also be at the CASA DC Forum as well as the Aqua DC Forum, which we are looking forward to next week. And, oh, I forgot. And I attended 2 CAWEF and 2 well meetings. Is that it? I think that's it. With that, unless there are any more questions or comments or agenda items, I'm going to turn these over to our wonderful board clerk to tell us what's on the calendar. So, I got it. Yeah, thank you.
Our next regular board meeting is March 4th, 2026, here at 6:30 PM.
What about the committee meetings? You got those?
Okay, I'll go that far. The next IOE meeting is on March 10th, 2026, 10 a.m. Finance and Administration is scheduled for March 12th. And then the second meeting of March is March 18th, 2026. Second board meeting.
The second board meeting, thank you. Thank you very much. Before we adjourn tonight, I wanted to leave us with yet another adjournment in honor of, in this Black History Month. It seems we are not only honoring history, but we're honoring the legacies that some of our current historians are leaving behind. With the passing of Jesse Jackson, Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr., we honor his legacy. I want to say, it's profound legacy that far outdates anything that I've seen. His lifelong commitment and devotion to justice and equality and human dignity not only transformed Black communities, but it transformed all communities in the United States and across the globe. This is a man who worked for more than 6 decades as a civil rights vanguard at the forefront of the struggle for not just civil rights, but human decency. And he carried forward what he termed the moral urgency of a movement that he helped build alongside one of the men he called his mentor in Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. When he built the Rainbow Push Coalition, it was the rainbow was symbolic of the diversity of the people who he sought to give voice to, who he sought to give power to, people who were generally overlooked, not seen, communities that were under-resourced. And that poverty doesn't know an ethnicity or a color. He was demanding accountability from institutions of power at a time when people that looked like him, tall Black men, were being persecuted for doing that. His leadership fundamentally expanded what we thought of political participation. When he ran for president in 84 and 88, I was young, but I remember it. It gave this picture of what could be, but it also forced, when you listen to his words, if you ever get a chance, if you ever get a chance, make a chance to listen to his DNC speech in 84 and 88 and listen to his words, because his words were, my mother and grandmother had us listen, and when you listen to the words, and they're so relevant even today, it's those words that talk about forcing this country, this nation, everybody, not just one party, but everybody, to have this national reckoning that the leaders before him during the civil rights movement spoke of, on economic justice, educational justice, healthcare, new jobs, all of this. And it inspired not just that generation, but many generations to follow, to believe that you can't just, no, it wasn't just a saying, keep hope alive was not just a saying. Underneath it was the belief that you can make meaningful change, because not only is it possible, but it's inevitable. It's inevitable. If you organize the actions of committed people. So tonight I want to close the meeting, and at some point I'll probably write a resolution for it or a proclamation. But I want to close the meeting in honor of the pathfinder, the truth finder, who also helped lead the efforts through what we call Cancer Alley and the fight for clean water, clean air, and environmental justice throughout the Midwest, and especially in the Chicago area where I spent a lot of my time growing up, and the Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr. Shall he rest in peace and rest in power. Thank you. With that, it is 8:29. We are adjourned until our next meeting.
Did he? Oh, yeah. Well, you know, when he came out.
Yeah, I was not on his staff, I was just one of the volunteers.